We generally never build our policy at the expense of national interests, at the expense of ensuring the country's security. And the special military operation is precisely aimed at eliminating at the root, at the core, those threats that the North Atlantic Alliance has been creating right on our borders for not one day, not 1 year, but decades. And Russia has warned repeatedly. The president dedicated countless speeches and statements to this issue, and unfortunately he was not heard, but apparently this only confirms something he said recently. President Putin, in an interview with Pavel Zarubin on how his and our collective perception of relations with the West evolved. When initially it seemed that removing ideological differences would make everything fine. And then it turned out that the issue was not about ideology, but that the West never, regardless of what ideology was practiced in the Russian Empire, in the Soviet Union, in post-Soviet Russia, was driven only by geopolitical containment, suppression, or even direct military destruction of Russia, as has happened more than once in history. Therefore, of course, as Dmitry Peskov said, we want to understand what is behind this statement. 50 days. There used to be 24 hours and there were 100 days. We have been through all of this and really want to understand what motivates the President of the United States. It is clear that he is under enormous, I would say, indecent pressure from the European Union and the current NATO leadership, who unceremoniously support Zelenskyy's demands to keep supplying him with modern, including offensive, weapons at the expense of more and more damage to taxpayers in Western countries. Therefore, we have, such a proverb, do not dig a pit for others. As for the sanctions that the European Union has implemented and are being prepared again in Brussels, they are trying to pull the United States into this sanctions vortex. But President Trump specifically explained that Europe will be paying for all of this. All of this, of course, has already caused very serious damage to the European economy. Sensible and objective European analysts, economists, and political scientists acknowledge that the main damage is borne by the author of this sanctions war. We have already had an unprecedented number of sanctions declared against us. We are managing. I have no doubt that we will cope. This conclusion is also based on the assessment and analysis of independent, including many Western economists and politicians. As for this, yes, but our trading counterparts, they hear what has been said, but it's hardly likely they can currently predict their actions. They have commitments, international commitments, and knowing these, our partners, I do not see how they can abandon their independent policy. The policy of adhering to agreements reached through both bilateral channels and multilateral formats.